During the last couple of weeks I've been thinking about Facebook and seeing how so many people are using it as a means of communication. But I was asking myself the question, could it be used for a more serious purpose? And came up with this thought about the Starfish Facebook Community Church. And so this is a group that I've added to my profile in the last last week. So I just want to say a little bit about it and a little bit about my own thinking. Okay, I have come to the conclusion that church as we know it has really had its day. That these large celebrity-driven churches or meeting-driven churches are probably going to be something of that belong to the last century. But the thing that is going to develop in the future is something that's far more community-centred and community-based. And we here in Thessaloniki are actually seeking to develop a more community-based church, and are finding ourselves connecting with all sorts of people who are really love Jesus or are interested in Jesus but are not so interested in church. Another dimension for me is that I believe that the church has become very much led from the front. It's become very much led by a small group of people, and there's not a lot of room for the body to function. And when I consider my body, I know I've got lots of different parts that all have to interact with each other in order for my body to feel good and to feel healthy. And so I've been thinking about that, and along with the guys here, and looking at ways in which we can create church that makes room for everybody to express their gift. And so we're thinking about doing church in new ways and being church in new ways. We're not just talking about one or two people having a cup of coffee and saying that's church, but we are realistically looking at ways in which we can bring people, groups of people together and look at relationship with God and what that really means in the present day. So in these turbulent times in which we're living, I believe that there is a desire in the hearts of many people to connect with the true and the living God. And so one of the purposes of the Starfish Facebook Community Church, which is a real mouthful, isn't it, is basically that a starfish, when you break it off, it recreates, and it continues to, if a leg gets broken off, it can create a whole new starfish. And I want this thing on Facebook to be alive and to be full of contributions from lots of different people, and nobody needs to be afraid of posting things that they think are irrelevant, because what you think is irrelevant may be actually relevant to somebody else. So let's try and piece something together and start to build up and contribute. And of course, in a sense, it's not really a church in the sense of being a people who will regularly meet together. But I believe that in this technological world in which we're now living, it's really fantastic if people from different parts of the world can all be contributing to one another and encouraging and strengthening. So that's the purpose of this, and we hope that you'll make a contribution. Okay, it'll only work if you make a contribution.